Hello and welcome into another Matt O'Leary New York live stream, where today we go live for the preview of the New York Jets against the New England Patriots. To say this is a big game would be, well, maybe the understatement of the century. The New York Jets are 0 for their last 14 against these New England Patriots. The last time the Jets beat the Pats, I was in the building. It was December of 2015. That is a long time ago. That video is almost 8 years old. I don't want that. I need that to change. I cannot be having this thing go on for all that much longer. We will get into your comments. We will preview this game. So much to get into, again, as it is a big one. And we got some interesting news yesterday about Dwayne Brown, which I just don't really understand how it went from probably going to play to he's out for Sunday to he's on injured reserve. We'll see him in a month in the span of 28 hours. Like, it wasn't that long of a time. It really wasn't. So obviously it is time for this one to end. J Dubs with the first super chat. Thank you so much, J Dubs, for your support. Really means a lot. I appreciate it. Says we got the best five, says J Dubs. I really hope that that is the case. I hope that is the case for the best five for the New York Jets today. It is super important. So, here we go. It is the best five. Thank you for J Dubs. We are going to share this now. I'm going to retweet this. Per Connor Hughes, we have some breaking news. Per Connor Hughes, we'll pull it up. We'll get it going. As of 2 minutes ago, thank you so much again for the super chat. I really appreciate you calling this out. The Jets offensive line will be as followed for Sunday's game against the New England Patriots. Mekhi Becton, left tackle. They did it. Holy smokes. Laken Tomlinson, left guard. Connor McGovern, center. Joe Tippmann, right guard. Elijah Vera Tucker, right tackle. Love to see that. I got to text my guy, Dave. He is the biggest Joe Tippmann fan in the world. And I gotta let him know that his guy is getting his first career start at right tackle. Big Joe, first career start at right guard today. Bang. He's gonna go nuts. I bet he loves that. Good stuff. This is big for the New York Jets. I could not have dealt with a Billy Turner starting left tackle scenario. Yeah, I think this is the best offensive line that the Jets possibly could have put out there under these circumstances. Laken Tomlinson had his struggles. Connor McGovern had his struggles for sure last week. Connor McGovern really, really struggled pretty tough against the Dallas Cowboys. Obviously, things expected to change going up against just a completely different defense, right? Like, just a very, very much so different looking defense. Big rookie Joe Tippmann gets his first career start. Really happy for him. Good for Big Joe and Elijah Vera Tucker. The versatile offensive lineman moves out to right tackle. Love that. Very much so appreciated. The main catch says, Matt, you are awesome. Thanks for the great videos. Jets win 24-13. Really appreciate the kind words. The main catch really means a lot. Thank you so much, guys, for supporting. It means the absolute most. And I think the Jets get the W as well. I'm going to say lower scoring, 16-10 Jets win. Low scoring, tight game. But that was wow. Okay. That was surprising. That's some pretty nice news, but I wanted to share with you guys. I don't know if you guys saw the pictures from the stadium. According to the pictures from the stadium, right? Look at this. Connor Hughes tweets, MetLife turf department. The paint is wiping off the turf, likely because of the rain. I'm sure this won't inevitably cause any issues. Look at this. That's disgusting. Look at all the white over there. And there's footsteps over. This is gross. Take a look at this. The end zone looks awful. Is it really too much to ask for a functioning field surface from this team? Apparently it is. Look at the end zone. What the hell? What is possibly going to happen in a game where it's supposed to rain? Right now, it's just cloudy, but there's a 50% chance of rain in East Rutherford, New Jersey at kickoff. Look at the field. It's terrible. I know, like, fans are probably tired of talking about this or maybe even hearing about it, but the new turf this year was supposed to be different, and look at the field surface. It looks terrible. And I get it. It's a rain game, and, like, obviously some of this is gonna play a factor in it, but come on. Someone's gonna get killed out there. Awful. Absolutely abysmal. Doug says, according to Rosenblatt, if West was healthy, he starts. Okay, let's see if we can find that tweet. We'll pull that up. Thank you for the super chat there. I do like Wes Schweitzer, but let's see. Okay, yeah, here we go. Let's pull up the tweet. Thank you for the heads up on this. Zach Rosenblatt covers the Jets for The Athletic. Says, from what I understand, Wes Schweitzer would be starting at right guard had he not suffered a concussion in practice this week. Joe Tippmann gets his first start instead. Well, honestly, I do feel as if this is the Jets' best starting offensive line humanly possible with the unit that they are putting out there today. Thank you for the heads up on that, Doug. Thank you for the $2 super chat for the support. Jack A sends in a super chat as well. I don't see a comment attached. I'm going to see if one pops, if you have one in the chat. If not, thank you so much for the support. Love that. Justin Osgood says JFM is active. Okay, that's a good sign. We have, oh wow, we have the actives and inactives list. Let's pull that up. JFM is active. That's a great sign. Here we go. Here's the list of inactives: Jason Brownlee, Tony Adams, Izzy Abanikanda, Bryce Hall, Zaire Barnes, and Wes Schweitzer. So good news. This obviously means that Will McDonald, first round pick Will McDonald, is not inactive today. Thank God. I don't know if I could have did that again. Jeez, man. That was such a bizarre turn of events last week. People were upset about it. I get it, but Will McDonald, makes sense to activate him today. I'm glad that JFM is active. I know, look, he had a roughing the passer this past week, and that's frustrating. Not that I necessarily blame him for it. I thought it was an absolutely abysmal call going up against the New York Jets, who, for some reason themselves, they have not gotten a roughing the passer called for them since 2021. It's been like 20 straight games for the New York Jets where they haven't had a roughing the passer called in favor of them. So just hope that doesn't happen again this week with JFM. I don't blame him for it. Again, I don't think it was his fault for what happened, but yeah, some pretty big news so far to start off this pregame stream, where one, JFM active, Will McDonald is active as well. And with the surprise of the offensive line, with Mekhi Becton going to left tackle, AVT moves out to right tackle, and Big Joe Tippmann gets his first career start at right guard. Good stuff. That makes me really happy. Hawks says, Will McDonald active? Yep, we got that. Justin says, Will McDonald, he's active. That's a big sign. That is a really, really big thing. Rich Samini tweets out here. I want to pull this up from Rich. As expected, Mekhi Becton will start at left tackle per source. He practiced at left tackle all week, though Salah said Friday it would be irresponsible to change his position on short notice. Some Patriots weak gamesmanship. Barrett Tucker will play right tackle. Joe Tippmann will play right guard. This will be the O-line going forward. Yeah, again, I think this makes the most sense for the New York Jets. This is what we were yelling and screaming about. The fans were yelling and screaming about seeing this all week because that's what would make the most sense. Billy Turner starting at left tackle was never going to make sense for this team. Never going to make sense for this team. Yeah, Greg says Izzy, and then says use Izzy, not Cook. Unfortunately, while I am excited about Izzy Abanikanda, he is inactive right now. He's very much so further down on the depth chart. He's RB4 behind Carter, Cook, and Hall. Maybe eventually as the year goes on, I think we eventually see him active, but not yet. I'm hoping that Dalvin Cook bounces back because he's had a very slow start through the first two games of the year. Not that he's gotten a ton of reps. Last week he only had 4 carries. He did have a fumble on one of the 4 carries. So, like, obviously that's not great. That's not ideal. But again, the big story, we'll pull it back up, but Jets starting offensive line, Becton, Tomlinson, McGovern, Tippmann, AVT. Big Joe Tippmann gets his first career start. I love that. Justin Jett says this O-line is so much better. You would really hope so. You would really hope that this offensive line is significantly better than what we've seen so far, because they've struggled through the first 2 weeks of the season. It's been pretty evident that they started pretty tough through the first couple weeks. I wanted to get up. Oh, no. We have Patriots inactives, which I see a question in there. Nick says, any big inactives for the Patriots? Yeah, here we go. We'll pull those up. Jonathan Jones is not playing. That's the big one. Will Greer, the third quarterback, inactive. Tyrone Wheatley is inactive, but the big Jonathan Jones is the big one there for inactives. He got hurt in the game against Miami on Sunday Night Football last week in week 2, and was going to play a big role in this game. Now they do have a rookie corner in Christian Gonzalez, who is very, very good. I was upset that he fell to the New England Patriots, because just naturally, of course he does. But the moral of the story is, and they obviously want the pair out there together in Jones and Christian Gonzalez. That will not be the case today, as Jonathan Jones is not good to go. That is the big Patriots inactive right now. And according to Brian Costello, we'll pull this up, AVT has been taking practice reps at tackle for 3 weeks, according to a source. Becton and Tippmann practiced at left guard and right guard all week. Interesting. So let's toss that a little repost. So Salah just went full gamesmanship. Sorry, Dakota, if you missed it before. It is Mekhi Becton at left tackle. You have Laken Tomlinson left guard, Connor McGovern at center. Right guard is Big Joe Tippmann, and right tackle is Elijah Vera Tucker. Flyer Die says, I'm glad coaching staff wasn't stubborn and put the best group out there talent-wise. Now let's see if they perform. I'm excited. Let's get this win. Again, they absolutely, I hate using must-win stamps, especially so early in the season. But this is such a huge game for the Jets for so many reasons. Number one, they've had the Jets number since December of 2015. They got swept in 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, and 22. Last year has hurt the most because for many reasons. The first game they should have won. They allowed one offensive touchdown in the first game. And then there was the phantom JFM penalty that negates a pick six, and the season kind of spirals from there. The second Patriots game, they lose 10-3 without allowing a touchdown, a defensive or an offensive touchdown, I guess is the better way to put it. The defense didn't allow a touchdown. It was a special teams play that won the game for New England. It's time. You have a chance to effectively end the season of the New England Patriots. You don't start 0-3 and come back from that. You don't. And the Jets, if they were to win this game and if they were to get to 2-1, they'd be 2-0 in the division. That's big. Your divisional games matter. And while I'm upset because of how they played against Dallas, if you told me they'd be 2-1 through the first 3 games, the 2 games you'd want to win are the divisional ones. The Jets have been abysmal in the division for an eternity. They would tie their win total in the division that they had all of last year with 2. And the last few years prior to that, they were going 0-6 in the division. So this stuff matters. It's really, really big. It's a big deal. Let's go to Douglas. Thank you so much for the support, Douglas. Really appreciate it. It says, with this offensive lineup, we should be able to run to the right side or the left side. That is absolutely true, by the way. Absolutely the case for the New York Jets in this one. Because it was pretty much just the right side of the line that you felt comfortable with AVT at right guard and Becton at right tackle. But now, completely different. Mekhi Becton left tackle, Laken Tomlinson left guard, Connor McGovern at center, right guard Joe Tippmann, and right tackle is AVT. AVT at right tackle was very, very good last year when he had to fill in there. I'm very happy about that. That he's moving out there. Do I prefer him at guard? Of course, but in a pinch like this is absolutely needed. Absolutely needed. So we'll keep a close eye on it. But this is a great point brought up by Douglas because this offensive line lineup, you're right. Like, but you have your two best run blockers on your as your bookend tackles. Joe Tippmann is a big time upgrade for what they were running out there right now. And I thought in the preseason he showed that he can hang. I absolutely did. This is big stuff. Greg says need to pancake Judon. Like this is not an easy matchup. And thank you for bringing this up, Greg, because as much as I want this to be the big, big, big day for Mekhi Becton at left tackle, and I believe that he is the best possible option for the New York Jets at left tackle right now, it ain't going to be easy. Matt Judon is a very, very good rusher. He gets after the quarterback. He's had, I believe, a sack in each of the first two games. He has 2 sacks on the year. I believe it's been 1-1. He's a problem. He is an absolutely legitimate problem. But you know what? If the Jets were smart, they would have saw what happened to them last week in an absolutely god-awful game plan against the Dallas Cowboys, and Micah Parsons runs wild on them. Maybe it's time to say, hey, you know what? We're going to put our blocking tight end, our best blocking tight end in Jeremy Ruckert, and have him on the field for more than 5 snaps. Robert Saleh said it in one of his press conferences this week. I believe it was either Wednesday or Thursday. You got to forgive me. I don't remember which specific day it was from earlier in the week. But he said 2 guys by name will be on the field more. And it's 2 guys that Jet fans love and are very happy to hear this. Jeremy Ruckert's going to see the field more this week. He only played 5 snaps in week 2. Not acceptable for your best blocking tight end to only play in 5 snaps. And Breece Hall, who only had 4 carries. And I'm rocking the Breece Hall. Here, maybe I'll flip to this angle. I'm rocking the 20 today. Want to know why I'm rocking the 20 today? Because you need, what's the number? 15 carries for Breece Hall in that 10 to 15 range? Pound the rock and let's go to work against this defense. They struggled against Miami's run game last week on Sunday Night Football. If you watch the game on Sunday night against Miami, they did, and to New England's credit, they did a really good job of taking Tyreek Hill out of the game. He only had 40 receiving yards. That's a pretty big deal for containing Tyreek Hill. But they got gashed in the run game, this New England defense. They held their own in week 1 against the Eagles. Got to give them credit for that. So we'll see. Maybe they bounce back this week. But if there's an opportunity to beat this New England team, you have to run the football. Run the damn ball. Dakota says, go O-line, go. Isn't it crazy just how happy Jet fans are for this for offensive line news? Right? Isn't that nuts? But it's the truth. Offensive line news is getting us this excited. Scott Veek chimes in. He says, I hope Nathaniel Hackett makes some big adjustments as well. I better see Mecole Hardman today. Yeah, I don't understand the lack of usage of Mecole Hardman. Get your speedy guys out there on the field. 100%. I don't need to see, rather, the CJ Uzamas lined up as your big slot. It's a waste of time. You're wasting time. I appreciate CJ for being the veteran presence in the room. He's obviously a well-liked guy. He's a leader in the clubhouse kind of thing. I get all that, but he is not a threat to be lined up wide. And his blocking ability, unfortunately, has really taken a hit. He does not look like the same guy he was in Cincinnati as a blocker. Really, really struggled. Really struggled. Yeah, good question from Jace. Do the Jets have a backup interior offensive lineman? Can Billy Turner or Max Mitchell play guard? Billy Turner has played and started at guard in the league. Max Mitchell, I don't believe so. I don't think I would classify him as someone who could move out to play, or move in rather, to play guard, but Billy Turner's done it. So my assumption would be that if there's an injury, and obviously we're not hoping for any injuries, but if this needs to happen, if there's an injury to a guard, I would think Billy Turner would come in and play at guard. Or if there's an injury at center, same thing, but Tippmann would move over to the center spot at that point. That would be my guess. So if there's an injury to either starting guard, then it would be the Billy Turner coming in to play at guard. But if there's an injury to Connor McGovern, then Tippmann moves over from guard to center, and then Billy Turner would go into whatever guard spot. Infamous Julian says, Matt, I rocked that Breece jersey last week and said the same thing. Well, this time is different, Infamous Julian, because they are admitting their mistakes, that they only ran the ball 4 times with Breece Hall. That can't happen again. We cannot do this. Green Bean's pumped up. I want to pull this tweet up from Green Bean, our guy. By the way, I'll be on with Green Bean at halftime on the Talking Jets channel. He's going live at 12:30, so don't worry. We will get out of here around that time. So make sure to head over to the Talking Jets channel for Green Bean. I'm sure Jeremy will be on with him. I'll be joining him at halftime. Green Bean says, now that's an offensive line. Becton, AVT at offensive tackle with the young buck Tippmann starting at right guard. Look at that. I can't wait to talk about it at the half. Hopefully for the New York Jets, it proves to work. I absolutely think that it can be. Hawk says, I'm wearing AVT 75 today. Let's go, big dog. Yeah, I was. So I don't know if you guys saw before the season, the Jets X Factor guys had the points bet promotion where if you signed up for points bet, you'd get a $150 coupon or gift card, whatever you want to call it, to Fanatics. And I was very much considering an AVT jersey, but they didn't have one. You could get one custom, but it wouldn't have covered the custom ones are a little bit more expensive than the pre-made ones. So I ended up going with this guy, the Breece Hall. But AVT would absolutely be my next jersey, I think. I love me some Elijah Vera Tucker. He is so versatile and such an important piece to this team. Love me some AVT. Johnny says, bro, Mac Jones is going down. Unleash the Mantis and season is done. That's it, man. It's time. You could, as I said it earlier, you could effectively end the season for the New England Patriots tonight with a win. That's it. A win today. You move to 2-1. The Pats go to 0-3. And depending on what else happens in the division, the Pats would be pretty far down the pecking order, too, in the division, by the way, because that would be 2 divisional losses. It'd be 0-3. And then, I mean, I would think the Bills take care of business against Washington, and I would think Miami takes care of business against Denver. So then you are a few games back of Buffalo at that point. You're putting yourself in a real tough pickle if New England loses this game. So end that season. Let's get up some more of these chats in here. William Justice says, Tomlinson, earn your paycheck today, dude. He has to be better today. He absolutely has to be better. It's important for him to bounce back this week. Just be serviceable. We're not saying be a Pro Bowler or an All-Pro. As nice as that would be, if he is just a serviceable offensive lineman, that would be huge for this New York Jets football team. It would be absolutely huge. Johnny and I share the same thought here where he says, I'm so happy Billy Turner is not playing. You're not wrong. I absolutely agree with that because it is, look, I think that would have been a big time problem for this New York Jets team. Big time problem. How about that with Will McDonald act? This is a good point by the Jet Press. So I'll pull this tweet up on the screen so we can talk about it here. With Will McDonald active, the Jets are dressing all 10 defensive linemen. Very curious to see how they get them on the field. Pretty thin in the secondary because of this. But yeah, this is the first time all year that the Jets are dressing all 10. Because you had in week 1, Carl Lawson was inactive, and then in week 2, Will McDonald was inactive. So I was curious to see if maybe they would make, obviously starting, or activating Will McDonald. I was thinking maybe we would see another defensive lineman inactive, maybe Solomon Thomas, I was going to say Solly, but they like him a lot, and he played well last week. Michael Clemens, just because he hasn't played a ton yet, maybe he would have been the one who would be at inactive. Which, by the way, just to put a pin in that for a second, ESPN is showing live shots of MetLife Stadium. It looks like the rain is coming down pretty good, and it looks windy. So something to keep an eye on. Yeah, 15-mile-an-hour winds, according to AccuWeather, and rain in the forecast. Not ideal. Dirty old Jet fan, a.k.a. Walt, chimes in. Thank you for jumping in here. Says, I predict 6 sacks on Jones today. There we go. I could absolutely see that. I think I said 5 in my pregame, like preview and just my thoughts in the pregame. But I sign me up for 6, obviously. That'd be fantastic. David Hall says our defense is going to be like sharks today, feasting on the New England offensive line. I tend to agree with that. The New York Jets defense got embarrassed in week 2. They did. The whole team played bad from top to bottom, but that defense performance was really, really surprising. And there's a lot of pride from this defense, a ton of pride on this defense and for Robert Saleh. I think they bounce back in a big way. I think really I am not concerned about the defense today. I am most concerned about the offense. If they could just run the ball and Zach Wilson manages the game, doesn't turn the ball over, just does the little thing right, tuck it and run, because we've seen New England struggle against rushing quarterbacks. And when Zach tucks it and runs and shows off his athleticism, that's when the Jets, I think, are at their best. I love it. Let's do that. But I'm with David. The defense is going to be like sharks today. The Night Man Cometh. Great name, by the way, and great reference. Says, why the heck did the Jets not have an indoor stadium? I wish I had an answer for you. I really freaking do. But I want to pull up, in case you missed it, at the start of the stream, I pulled up the images from MetLife Stadium today. Look at this. Look at that end zone. These are footprints. The white and the green is all footprints. The paint is literally coming off. And if you jump over to this angle, look how bad the end zone looks. This is a brand new turf field. This isn't like a decade-old turf, and it's like, oh, we really need to change it. It was changed this year. There's been 3 games played. This will be the 3rd game played here. It's nuts. It is absolutely insane. I don't get it. I don't know how the field is in that bad shape. For 3 games? This will be the 3rd. Both the Jets and Giants were home in week 1. Nobody played on this field in week 2. And it still looks like crap. It looks like garbage. I don't know how it happened, but this is just absolutely insane that that's the case. Absolutely insane that that's the case. All right, I'm going to drop the link to join the stream in the chat, and I'll pin it to the comments as well, so that you could join in. We'll do some calls. We'll get your thoughts on the game and what your expectations are. I just dropped it in there, and I will pin it in it momentarily. For whatever reason, since it's the most recent comment, it won't let me. Here we go. Pin the message. So we will do, if you guys want to join the show, you can do that. I just dropped the link to join in the chat. We'll get some calls in, and we'll see how we're feeling. We're going to go out first. We got Doug, who's just joined behind the scenes, so we'll go to Doug first. Doug, how's it going, man?
I mean, this is the best it's felt pregame since week 1. I mean, last week's pregame was doom and gloom, and then you get all the stuff about the O-line. So you definitely feel better about this stuff pregame than you did last week. So, positives.
Yeah, we'll take that as an absolute positive. What's your thoughts on the O-line? Do you like the starting 5?
I do. I think I agree. Like what I showed you, that Zach said it about Wes Schweitzer. Well, I'm happy Tittman started. If Wes was healthy, I would have had like Tittman at center and Wes still play at guard, because I think he's a good serviceable backup.
I agree.
Otherwise, I'm very happy. Like you said, this is the best with all the players available. who you have at your disposal. I do think this was the best options going forward. I mean, no one wanted Billy Turner out there.
No.
No one wanted it out there. Like, I could play left tackle and probably I couldn't do better than Billy Turner, but that would be the same thing essentially. Like,
no, I agree with you, Billy. It was weird. I got some comments on my videos, and it was like, "Do you really think Billy Turner would be worse than Dwayne Brown?" It's like, I don't know. Did you watch him in the training camp in the preseason? It was pretty rough.
So football related, non-Jets related, I have a fun hypothetical for you.
All right, hit me.
If you had 10 attempts to score a rushing touchdown from 10 and in with like a real NFL offensive line, but you're facing like a real defense, do you think you could do it?
From how many yards out of him?
10 and in. So from the 10, you got 10 attempts.
10 attempts? No, I don't think so. I want it. My brain wants to say, my heart rather wants to say yes. My brain says no.
I think if it was 20, I could say yes, but 10, I don't know.
Yeah, right. Like, I don't know. You might get 2 yards, but then I feel it's going to be like you would take 2 yards forward, 2 yards back. And
exactly. But I think it's a fun. I mean, obviously, we'll never be able to test it out, but I think that's a fun hypothetical. Like, oh, do you think I could score from the 10 and in? Because I mean, if you played high school football or football at any level, the fields are the same sizes and same field at every level. So
I love it. Love it. All right. Well, before we get you out of here, do you have a score prediction for today?
I think it's going to be low scoring. I'm going to be shocked if it's like 13-6.
Yeah, this is going to be one of those games where it like sets the NFL back 40 years.
Yeah, because I think with the rain and the weather, you want to keep it safe, which I'm okay with keeping it safe. And like, I know people want to get on Zach because that's the narrative. Zach sucks. And I'm not a Zach truther by any means, but you can't, if you really watched all of last week's game, you can't sit there and say Zach was the problem last week. You can't. Yeah. Like, I know he threw 3 interceptions, but it's when they were down in the fourth quarter and he was trying to come back. Like, those are interceptions that like you can live with.
No, absolutely.
So
I'm with you.
So like, it's just keep it simple, stupid. That's the way to win this game. Keep it simple. Run the ball. Obviously, I'd like it for be Dalvin Cook Breece more of a Dalvin Cook, but just keep it simple. Get your yards and take what Bill gives you. Like, they're going to try and shut down Garrett or Breece, your best option. So just take what the offense is giving. Personally, I'd like Garrett to do well because he is on my fantasy team, but just take what's given to you, and they should be able to win this game.
I agree. Doug, thank you so much for hopping in. Enjoy the game today.
You too.
I love it. Thank you so much to Doug for hopping in. If anyone else wants to join the show, the link is pinned in the comments. I'll drop the link in again as well. We'll go through chats. We'll go through anything going on Twitter right now and the big storylines. We were looking at the field, which again, in some rough shape. I absolutely hate that this is a field surface that's been not even a month old, right? Of games being played on it, and it looks like absolute garbage. That's the end zone look right now. It just doesn't look good. Oh, God. Not ideal. Not great. All right, let's go to some more in the chat. BG says 27-24. Breece Hall has 2 touchdowns. PG, I think you're a little bit higher than some of these other guys in terms of score. I would be surprised. I think that if any team gets to 20 points, I think they win the game. I would be shocked if both teams get over 20 points. I believe the point total is 35.5. And it started out at 37. It's come down a couple of points. And I still might take the under. I think we see a point total in the 20s. 16-10, 17-14, something like that. Yeah, we have a few more score predictions. Hawk is saying 17-13. Disinfo saying 20-19. Okay. That would be a little higher scoring than anticipated. Me and Andrew are on the same page. I said 16-10 Jets. That's where I am on this one. Brian chimes in, says New England is bigger than the Jets on both sides of the ball, so I expect them to have the advantage because of the field condition. Okay, well, their offensive line's not in the best of shapes either, so I don't necessarily know if I could agree with that statement. I don't know if I agree with that one, Brian. Bogan's in here says Jones has never won against a team that scored 22 plus points. That is insane. The Mac Jones stat line is a very bizarre one. I had it up on the stream. If you tuned into my preview with producer Ty, you would have saw the that crazy Mac Jones. I think it was 24 points. For whatever reason, 24 is sticking out in my head. Yeah, here we go. 3-12 against playoff teams, 0-12 in comeback games where they're down by a touchdown in the fourth quarter. New England has held other teams to 24 points or less more than any team in the NFL since Mac has taken over. That's just a wild stat line. Wild stat line. Tom chimes in with a super chat. Tom, appreciate you. Thank you so much. Says Zach's late ints last week were like punts. Not sold by any measure, but very optimistic today. Yeah, I think Zach was fine for the first three quarters. There were the interceptions at the end. I don't really care about the second one specifically, the deep throw down to Garrett Wilson. He's trying to back the defense off, which eventually you got to take a shot, right? Like you have to try to get a shot down the field. The third one I think was the worst one that Diggs picked off, which again, I feel really bad for Trayvon Diggs. Tears his ACL in practice. That's brutal. I hate seeing these injuries in the NFL. Nick Chubb had an ugly injury on Monday night. That stinks. It really stinks to see these guys go down. The third Zach interception, I think, was by far the worst one. The other two, I don't really like. I'm not getting bent out of shape over it. I'm not going to sit here and tell you he was great against Dallas. He wasn't. I'm not going to tell you he was horrific. I don't think he was horrific either. I thought he was up and down. And today they just need a little bit more consistency from Zach Wilson. If he plays like he did for the first three quarters in the entirety of this game, then I think the Jets have a great shot. And again, not saying like he's the future, he's the savior after Aaron Rodgers leaves. Like, no, like let's just look at it through the lens of he's the backup quarterback for this season and probably next year as well. And they need him to play like a backup NFL quarterback, which is to manage the game and limit turnovers. If he does that, that's really all you're asking for at this point, in my opinion. The Jets sent out a tweet. All right, so I want to pull up a couple of tweets here. And thank you again for the super chat, Tom. Really appreciate it. First is, if you thought a tropical storm would stop Jet fans, you would be sadly mistaken. And look at these guys. They are absolutely ready to go. The Jason mask. I love it. Good stuff. Let's go to, we got another caller in the books. We're going to go to my man, my good friend, Jets Chaos. Jeremy, what's going on, buddy?
What's up? I love the starting lineup, man. I love what's happening.
Are you surprised by that? I am, to be honest with you. I didn't think they would do it.
I am, because I scream about it, and we've been yelling about it, all of us. And when do we ever get what we want? Usually we just stay frustrated. I am in total shock that they're actually doing it. And this is what we've been screaming for.
Yeah, absolutely. Like Salah said, over the summer, the best five will play. And to me, if they were going to start Billy Turner at left tackle, you're just going against completely of every logical thing that would make sense for this team.
Right. And also what it concerned me, because it's like, do they understand? They can say whatever they want. Oh, it's just another game. Every game is big. This is not just another game. I think if you follow this team hard enough, if you understand the history, if you're really into this team, you understand that this is not a regular game, that this game could be very, very pivotal to the rest of the season.
Yeah, absolutely. And you have a chance to effectively end New England's season. Like, you don't come back from 0-3 and 2 divisional losses and at least 2 games back or 3 games back of, the third place team. You could, again, effectively end your rival season, who you haven't beat in almost 8 years. Like, come on.
Right. And get that monkey off Zach's back. Like, imagine what a good game would do for his confidence. I mean, however people feel about him, he's our quarterback. That's the reality, whether people like it or not. And now as Jet fans, we have to root for him no matter how you feel about him. And a win for him would be tremendous as far as giving him the confidence to be able to finish, each game. It's game by game, but still, how much better would we feel going into next week knowing that Zach would have that confidence that he overcame that hurdle?
What's your expectation for Zach in this game? Like, how many times do you think he's throwing? What is there a stat line or something you're looking for him to hit in this game?
Well, because of the weather, I don't expect it to be a pass heavy game. I think it's going to be kind of back and forth with a lot of pounds, grounds and pounds. I just want it to be efficient. That's what I'm looking for now from Zach. I'm looking for him to just, in a game like this and weather like this, just be efficient. Throw 65%, completion rate, that kind of thing. Just be smart with the football, protect the football. In a game like this, and then we just have to put the hands in our best players' hands. And to me, that's Breece Hall, right? Yep. Like when you don't want to put the ball in the air and let Breece Hall do his things. And I believe in this offensive line, the way it's constructed right now, that we could potentially see a really big game from Breece Hall.
I do too. I think 30 is the number. I think if they run the ball 30 plus times, they're in good shape. Obviously, not all of that going to Breece. They're going to have to mix in Dalvin and Michael Carter and Zach Wilson and stuff like that to get to that number. But I think you got to really change up what your game plan was from last week going into this week.
Absolutely.
Love it. So you're going to be on with Green Bean. What time you guys starting? 12:30?
Yeah, probably in like 20 minutes. I'm waiting for him to send the link. You know him. He's lagging today.
A little bit. So I'll be off by 12:30. So everyone who's here, make sure to jump over to the Talking Jets channel. Yep. At 12:30 for the stream with Jeremy and Green Bean. Is your brother joining as well this week?
He's ready to. It's up to Green Bean. That's a Green Bean thing each week. I don't know if my brother's gonna be doing special appearances or if he's become a regular on the show. I guess we'll all find out. Anticipation.
I love it. Do you have a final score prediction for this game?
Yeah, I think the Jets are gonna win a tight one, 24-16.
Okay. I love it. Jeremy, thank you so much for joining in. Enjoy the game. I'll see you at halftime.
All right, buddy. Take care.
Love it. Good friend Jeremy from Jets Chaos over there. As I said, make sure to head over to the Talking Jets channel as they will be going live in about 20 minutes. We got a super chat that I want to pull up. B West says, I am optimistic, but my head tells me Bill will be chuckling in the end. I don't want to see Bill Belichick smiling face at the end of this game. That sounds absolutely horrific. I do not want, I want to see him pouting, drenched in rain, the hair down like this, put the hair down, all wet, looking disheveled with his cut off, sleeves on the sweatshirt. I want pain in this game. I don't care if they win 3-0. I don't care if they win 40-0. It doesn't matter what the final score is. At the end of the game, the Jets need to walk off with a victory. That's it. That is my only bar for this game. It has been way too long for this Jets team. They for their last freaking 14. Brutal. Absolutely brutal. Thank you so much for the super chat. Let's go to Mike D's Life. He is up next. He says, what's up, Matt? What's going on, Mike? Thank you for your support. He says, call me crazy, but I have a good feeling today. Breece is about to go crazy. Bill hasn't seen him in a game yet. 1,000%. That makes a really big difference because in both of those games, if you remember, before they played last year at home against the New England Patriots, the game before that was the Denver game where you lost both AVT and Breece for the season. Like it or not, that is a really, really big deal. That was a really, really big deal. And the offense after that game went right down the tubes. You lost your two best players on the offensive side of the ball. It matters. It makes a really big difference. I think what's the number? 15 runs for, I would love to see him eventually get his way up to where he can handle running the ball 20 times. I think his third game back against, or just third game back in general from coming back from the ACL, it's kind of a tough ask, in my opinion, for us to be like, all right, let's give him the rock 20 times. But after the bye week, they should be feeding this dude the rock. Give it to him 15, Dalvin 8, Michael Carter 5, maybe another 5 to 7 from Zach. If it's not there for Zach Wilson, I am all in on him tucking it and running. I'm not saying you got to, go nuts and scrambling around like crazy, but on that final drive before the half against Dallas last week, If they're going to give you a free 10 yards, just take it, run and slide and go down. Like, you don't have to take a massive hit either. Good stuff. Thank you, Mike. I agree. I hope it is a monster game for our guy, Breece Hall. Infamous Julian says, Matt Jay Glazer just said Matt Ryan and Wentz expressed interest in joining the Jets. Let's see if I could find that. Did he say it on the air or did he tweet it out? He must have said it on the air because I don't see his most recent tweet is from September 20th, which is a few days ago, but I don't know how much I trust either of those guys, but I'm okay with adding a veteran body in here because if there's an injury to Zach or if you have to change something up, then you gotta, in my opinion, have someone not Tim Boyle to come in this game. Fred chimes in, says, just got a text from 3 Bills fans saying, F the Pats, let's go Jets. Okay. I like that. We're on the same page. It's like we're tired of the New England Patriots just owning this thing. Just absolutely owning this thing. Oh, yeah, here we go. Leave it to Boy Green, man. This guy knows his stuff. He's always on top of it. Says, whoa. Carson Wentz and Matt Ryan both reached out to the Jets to express interest in joining the team, but the team is sticking with Zach Wilson. Okay, well, I mean, yes, and I don't know if this is just Boy Green saying that, the last line, or if that's Jay saying, like, the Jets are just there, fine, comfortable sticking with Zach. If you're signing Matt Ryan or Carson Wentz, like, you're not necessarily saying that they have to come in and play right away. But I think you have to have some sort of backup plan for if things go off the rails for him play-wise or if he gets hurt. We're one snap away from the Tim Boyle show. I don't like that. It's scary. Not good. Not great. Hawk says Zach has to slide. If he comes out of the game, we're in big trouble. That's what I was just saying, right? Like, that's why I'm not opposed to adding Colt McCoy is another one. I really like the idea of, potentially adding another quarterback in here just in case. But I don't know. He has to slide is the moral of the story. Brian Goldstein says, not sure how effective McDonald will be with the wet field. He does have great balance, so hopefully he will be good today. Yeah, I think they just want some speed out there on the edge rush because they struggled to get after Dak in that game on Sunday last week. So I think that's really where it comes from. But you are right. The weather doesn't necessarily play into, the speedy edge rusher screaming off the edge, coming around to make plays. Could it happen? Sure, of course, but interesting. Yeah, I'm kind of surprised. A few people are reporting now, or retweeting the Jay Glazer report that Matt Ryan and Carson Wentz have reached out to the Jets. Interesting. PG says, dominate on your home field. Yeah, I mean, the Jets have been a better home team recently, so that is absolutely a win. I will sign up for that. Usually in years gone by, they've struggled at home a little bit, which is, again, a little bit frustrating, but now is the time. Now is absolutely the time. Here's Zach Wilson getting loose, getting ready to go. I like the leg sleeves. He looks swagged out. If the confidence level's there, he needs the visor back. That's what he needs. He needs the visor and the arm sleeves back. Good question from Patrick. The wind at New Jersey. The last time they flashed it up on the screen on ESPN, it was 15-mile-an-hour winds. So pretty windy day. And with rain mixed in is obviously not ideal either. Neither of those factors play into a good quarterback game for either side. Like, I think we're just going to see ground and pound, good defense, who makes the least amount of mistakes. And that's going to be the big difference. Brian says Zach Wilson looks like a Power Ranger. like a Power Ranger. That's fantastic. Jets. It's going to be ugly probably, but we're going to win. I don't care if it's ugly. I don't care if they win the game 2-0. Just a safety. Oh, how about this? Our guy, friend of the show, Bill Rucker, is down on the field. He tweets LFG Jets for Let's Effing Go Jets. And it's a picture of Conklin and Jeremy getting after it. I love that. Good stuff. I think he's better today. I think they get him on the field, which is a much needed freaking update because they, for whatever reason, would not do it. Would not put him on the field. 5 snaps is not enough. 5 snaps for your best blocking tight end is not nearly enough. Here's the numbers for Elijah Vera Tucker at right tackle, courtesy of Michael Nania. Says Elijah Vera Tucker over 3 starts at right tackle last season. He had 59 pass blocking snaps, 0 sacks allowed, 0 hits allowed, 2 hurries allowed. In addition, Breece Hall ran for 101 yards on 20 carries, 5.1 yards per carry, with a 60% success rate when running to the right side in those games. AVT absolutely can hold down the fort at right tackle. This, I think, is the best unit that the Jets could have out there, all things considered. Zach says Conklin over 21.5 yards today. I would think yes. He played a big factor in that first game against the New England Patriots last year. I believe he had 2 touchdowns in that game, in that first one. I think he is more involved today. I think they're going to be a lot of short things, and I say yes. I say he has 3 catches for 28 yards, something like that would be my guess. Sauce Gardner getting ready to take the field. I'll pull that up on the screen. Here we go. Here's Sauce Gardner. Getting ready to go out there. Looking for a big game for number 1. Love that for Sauce. The white on the white is my favorite look. That looks really good. I'm a big fan of the white jerseys with the white pants. I know a lot of people like the white jerseys with the black pants. I hate the white with the green pants. I hate the green on the green. So white on white at home, it's going to look good. All, what is it? Ciccio? CICCIO. Sorry. All Jet fans would be lying if they didn't think it, but do you really think the NFL wants the Patriots to go 0-3? The NFL? It's rigged? Is that the line? That this game is rigged? Just 3 years ago, in 2020, the Patriots lost 3 games in a row. So Bill has gone on 3-game plus losing streaks before. Why would the NFL want to prop up a shitty team? They're not good. They don't have a good roster. They are very, very good defensively. Very good defensively. They have no skill players. They're well coached, but that's it. They're well coached and have a good defense. Why would the NFL want to prop that up? It doesn't make any sense. Vibe Guy says, just got here, Matt. What good offensive line news? To be honest, I'm most excited for Joe Tippmann to get reps. Big Joe, baby. Big Joe Tippmann. I think he plays well. He looked good in the preseason at both guard and center. I like it at guard right now. I really do. I think, as I said many, many times on this stream already, I think this is the Jets' best unit that they could possibly be running out there. Brian chimes in, says this stupid streak needs to end today. If not, we don't get a shot to week 17. Yeah, it's the last game of the year against the New England Patriots in week 18, their 17th game of the season in week 18, when you include the bye week. But it's not going to get that far. It is absolutely freaking time to end this streak. Why not? Why not? Why not now? If not now, when is my line? If not now, when? Now is the time. Dirty Walt, or Dirty Old Jeff fan, aka Walt, says, if this line works, don't change it. I would not expect it to change anytime soon with the injury to Dwayne Brown. Is going to be out the next 4 games. He's on IR. So he's out this week. He's out against who's after that? The Chiefs, the Broncos, the Eagles, and then you're into the bye. After that, you'll see him in November, maybe the next time. If it works, you're right though. Why change it? I wouldn't. Off topic, but how we feel about the news coming out that Wentz and Matt Ryan reaching out to join the Jets. I think they need to add a veteran quarterback to this mix. Not saying veteran to come in and start right away, but you need an insurance policy behind Zach Wilson, because I don't trust Tim Boyle as the safety net or as the insurance policy. I don't buy it. I don't think it's a realistic option, nor do I think it's a smart option for the New York Jets insurance policy behind Zach Wilson to be Tim Boyle. Tim Boyle as a practice squad quarterback to come in, help install the offense, fine, but he can't then be elevated to QB2. It doesn't make sense to me. Yeah, this is what Hawk is saying too. When Brown comes back, he should just be the backup left tackle. I mean, he got hurt again and could potentially lose his job. It's going to be really, really dependent on how this line plays together as a unit. I think it's going to be a good line. I really like the group that they put out there. And as we've been saying in here, if it's working, why mess with it? There's absolutely no reason to change it at all. If it's working, it didn't work the first 2 weeks. You're going to go back to the thing that wasn't working. Why? It doesn't make any sense. Damian Woody, former Jets offensive lineman, and Patriots too, if I'm not mistaken, chimes in and says what I thought would happen, and I think it's their best offensive line combination, talking about Becton, Tomlinson, McGovern, Tippmann, and AVT. I tend to agree with Damian Woody. And if he's given the stamp of approval, that is very, very making me very, very happy. I chime in with it. I agree. And I thought I would chime in with it as well. Let's go to Nico. He joined the show. Nico, what's going on?
Sorry, I had your show on over here. How you doing, man?
All good. What's your thoughts for this game today?
Yeah, look, I just watched. I saw someone in the comments actually. They were talking about think like a Jet or play like a Jets breakdown of Zach.
Okay.
And I was reviewing last week's game. Like I was just going over it, rewatching it, trying to just seeing how bad Zach plays. I watched First Take and I was listening to Nick Wright just talking about how bad and egregious his performance was. And from first watch, I was like, I really didn't think he played that bad until like the last quarter when he was just forcing stuff down. Even on that one, I'm pretty sure it was the Trayvon Diggs on the sideline to Garrett Wilson. Yes. I really didn't think it was that bad of a play. He scrambled out of the pocket. The play obviously ended up being a pick. He made a misplaced throw. But I think that the idea, because he was just kind of forced to make these plays, I think that tonight, Belichick, obviously being one of the greatest coaches of all time, I think obviously he's in a game plan to the idea that we're going to be running the ball a lot, not only because we have a makeshift line. Not because it's raining. We have Zach Wilson behind center, and it's going to be at a makeshift line. They're probably just going to end up loading the box. So they're definitely not expecting us to throw the ball a lot. So I wouldn't be surprised if maybe Hackett, I'm not too familiar with Hackett's past because he had Aaron Rodgers. So, you could just throw the ball whenever you wanted to. He had that kind of freedom. But I wouldn't be surprised if they started taking shots downfield a little bit tonight, a little bit more than they did last week. A little bit more confidence, I think, is what would be important.
I agree with that. I think you're going to have to back the defense off, even if your game plan is to run the ball a lot, which I think it is.
Yeah.
On that first possession, if you're in a situation to build off the play action and take a shot down the field, now you have to hold up, right? The offensive line has to hold up, but you can't just go in and everything be screen passes and 5 yards and in. So you're right. I think, eventually you got to take your shot or two to get them to back off.
Yeah, I agree. And I really like this line they got put together now. Like, I think this was the best 5 they could possibly put out there. I really didn't like Dwayne Brown coming into the season, especially when he just wasn't working the whole offseason with the guys. It was just a little shaky to begin with. I mean, that was always a concern, especially I don't think Aaron Rodgers really changed as much last week, I'm going to be honest.
No.
Yeah, I if anything, it's Zach Wilson's mobility kind of helped us out and keep it a little closer, especially like on that last drive before the half. But we'll see how it ends up going this week, but.
Yeah, I love it. I love the line changes. I think this is the best unit that they could have possibly put out there given the
Yeah.
circumstances. And even if Brown and Schweitzer are healthy, I still think this might be the best line that they can put out there. Do you got a score prediction or anything for this game?
Yeah, I had it. I was talking to my friends about it before. I had it at 21-17 Jets.
Okay. I like it. I think if a team gets to 20, I think they win this game. I expect it to be on the lower scoring side.
I agree there. Yeah. All right, man.
Enjoy the game, Nico.
Thanks, man.
Love it. Good stuff. And I think that's where we're going to close out this show. I want to pass the baton going on to Green Bean over on the Talking Jets channel. He will be live throughout the entirety of the game. He has Jeremy Jets Chaos on with him as well. I will be joining at halftime to talk about this game. My post-game reaction will be right there after. Jets need to get this win. Enough is enough. End the streak. It's not getting to 15. 16-10 Jets win a sloppy game in the rain. Guys, thank you so much for joining me today. Please, before you go, leave a like, subscribe if you're not subscribed. I'll talk to you guys soon. Jets, Jets, Jets.